Hello, my friends. Welcome in or welcome back. My name is Amanda, and today we have a collective reading for you all with unique messages from Spirit regarding a message that you need to hear at this time. No channeled message today, although I did get one brief one as I was eating a strawberry earlier, which was a really interesting download. You are going to be healthier and more abundant than you could have ever imagined. So, claim that in the comments. And let's get into your reading. Spirit, what would you like to speak to the collective about today? This is a blank slate. What would you like to speak to the collective about? One card? Maybe a couple? However you're feeling, Spirit. And I think that one. And one more if you're feeling it. Two more. All right. All right. So we have capture. We have preserve. Wow. And we have luck. So, really, these two are definitely feeling very aligned in the sense that there is something to capture, something to preserve with I want to get memories. So whenever we're trying to preserve a moment, preserve a memory, we take a photo, we journal about it, we make space for it, we talk about it with others, we take a video of it. So there are these actions that we can take to capture and preserve a moment in time. Now, when luck comes in, I almost wonder if it's almost like you have to not just preserve those playful, fun moments where you're experiencing something new, you're having a good time, but also those moments of luck. Even I'm getting synchronicity or journaling about the cool stuff that happened in the day that we usually kind of pass by because they don't necessarily make a significant impact on our life, although sometimes they can. For example, if we find a $50 bill, that could potentially buy a little more food than usual. And so it's almost like you have to capture and preserve those moments in a moment of gratitude or making note of them, because there could be some in the collective that just think that they aren't lucky, that nothing is good happens to them. But when you really actually take a step back and look at those collected moments, collected memories, then that's when you can really see that you do have luck on your side. So it's almost like acknowledging the luck, acknowledging the abundance, acknowledging the good stuff. So let's get some more cards. I'm going to put these aside. Some more ideas may come to us in a bit here as we get going. And today we're just letting Spirit guide us today. I don't have any plans for how many cards, how many oracle cards. We are letting loose on this collective message, friends. So welcome. We have Aquarius energy here, which is the 11th house. It's all about community, friendships, reputation. Very friendly, intelligent, altruistic, inventive, outgoing. So there could be some Aquarians in the room here. Or that could be a focus of this reading, is to capture memories. Whoops, I'm backwards. Capture memories with friends. Capture memories with maybe family units. Let's see, maybe note down your ideas because those might lead to luck. Let's do another card here. Second house, value. So those things that you value, that capturing these ideas, capturing the moments, the having gratitude for and preserving those things could really offer or increase the value in something. Definitely material desires. So yeah, I just get capturing of an idea here, preserving an idea, and almost if you have ideas, to rather than share them, to capture and preserve them for a time, because there could be a sense of timing involved and luck and synchronicity, all of that stuff. So if you have some ideas, if you have some thoughts about new ways to do something, and maybe you're really excited about it, there's almost a sense of you kind of holding tight to that and keeping it to yourself for a time until such time that it's ready to be shared. But I really feel like whatever you are capturing here, or whatever you are making note of or bringing your awareness or attention to, is going to be of value to you, possibly in the monetary sense. It could improve your business. It could just bring general luck to you. Maybe even a sense of self-worth as well. I feel a strong sense of creation energy, so maybe you're kind of mulling over some ideas on something you want to create or bring to life. Maybe you are trying to find ideas on how to improve a business or start a business. But yeah, luck and right timing is what I'm hearing right now. So let's see, what else do you have to share? I'm not going to take those are too many. But I will get another card. Spirit, what else? And let's see how this format ends up, because I'm following Spirit's lead on this. I don't know. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. So this, I believe, was in a previous collective reading, the emotional loss and the moving on from. So what I get from that, we've got 5 of Cups energy, and then we have the 6 of Swords energy. So both emotional and mental energies here. So again, we're kind of looking at those energies of memories, energies of emotional attachments, and you moving into something that moves away from some kind of cycle that you've been in, some kind of disappointment, grief, or loss that you've experienced. And again, there's been previous collective readings where these two both came up, and I feel like you're moving through this process of moving on from something that was quite emotionally draining, quite emotionally difficult. And maybe you are looking into those past memories. You're watching videos, you're looking at photographs, and you want to come back into a sense of having luck again. I almost get the feeling that you've lost a couple of people. I want to say 3 in the last couple of years, so a very short time span. And you know that saying, bad things come in threes? I don't know where that came from, but that's kind of what I'm hearing and feeling, where maybe you've experienced some significant emotional loss, and now you're kind of moving through this energy of moving on from it and moving away from the grief finally. Moving to something that's lighter and brighter. And with this Aquarius being the ruler of the 11th house, it's like that one step before the end of that astrological cycle. So in terms of timing too, this could be, you're looking at winter, maybe, just because of the Aquarian birthday. And this too could also be a feeling of maybe not necessarily losing somebody in death or losing somebody physically in your life, separation as an example. This could be simply you coming to some kind of wild truth or reality about something that will never change. So for example, in a narcissistic relationship, or a connection you have with a friend, a boss, an employee or coworker, where you've realized that nothing's going to change. So you're moving through this process of radical acceptance and grieving whatever is no longer, and hanging on to the memories but to preserve your own peace and to step into your own sense of luck, you're moving away from it. And that's going to increase the value in your life because you're no longer feeling drained from this person. You're no longer feeling like you are not enough. And so that automatically increases the value of your own self-worth, maybe even how you show up in your own career, business, job, to the point where you know your worth. And so therefore, you're not going to settle for anything less. And your finances increase because of it. You make stronger, healthier connections and relationships with other people because you understand through that experience what to look for, what to not look for. And you are moving on, maybe hesitantly. Maybe this is something, I get the feeling that this is a moving on that is not really ideal for you. Like, this is not a good moving on where I'm excited to move into the next thing. Although I think hope and excitement is a part of that. I really do feel like this might be something that you've come to accept and you're moving on from and into something else. And I just wanted to show you the bottom of the deck on this one. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting, yeah, look at that. Okay, so we've got deception and envy, which is the Seven of Swords energy, more mental energy. And we won't keep these out because I want room for the tarot now. And then mental conflict. There's this confusion about maybe who you are and what you want and what do I do and where do I go? There's a conflict of logic and heart, regardless of whatever situation this might be. But it's almost like you don't want to not live your authentic self anymore. You want to move away from deceptive energy, especially when we're talking about manipulative people or narcissists. You know, it feels like we can never get past that mask and have that authentic connection with them. So it creates a mental conflict with us because maybe we genuinely want to have that. But I think you're coming into some kind of awareness about that situation, and you want to create, look at that. Oh, you bring awareness to something, and then you start on a new beginning. You've closed that door, you've moved on to this new chapter, and the entire world opens up for you because of that. I want to keep going. I just want to keep going. The throat chakra, this communication, again, that communicative, authentic energy of sharing what's on your mind without fear, sharing who you are with other people, having your own thoughts, opinions, beliefs, and not worrying about sharing that and speaking your authentic truth. You no longer want to walk on eggshells or hide yourself behind this mask. You want to have authentic friendships and you want to kind of preserve that identity. So it's almost like you've created this safety bubble around you now. Now that you've grieved this disconnection. Now, if this is a death, for example, or even a couple of different deaths, I do see that you are still managing to preserve your sense of self in this. You are coming out of the heaviness of that grief. And I do feel like you're moving on from that. Maybe not feeling hopeful, but also feeling a little bit lighter because you're no longer feeling that heaviness of the initial grief. So preserving your peace, preserving your emotions and how you spend your energy and time right now. And we have the four-leaf clover. So I think that luck and right timing is happening. So it's almost like in order for you to see it, you now have to bring awareness to that, to take note of it. And yeah, the Knight of Wands in reverse is an energy of wanting to go after the things that you want, but not really having a direction, not really having the go-ahead or feeling like you have the permission to do so, but still having that fire within and that desire to move on. So it's like you're kind of in waiting right now, or maybe feeling a little bit chaotic or not ready. Yeah, see, we have the release of the Nine of Swords here, more mental energy. And we're running out of room here, so we're just going to get 2 more underneath. Not necessarily clarifiers. Yeah, look at this. Oh my goodness. Okay. Look at that. Oh boy. Oh boy. And I say oh boy in the best way. But when the tarot kind of confirms what our oracle cards and our kind of general conversations and channeled messages, it feels really good from my point of view. I don't know about you, but it just feels like there's connection points, and I love seeing those connection points. And what's interesting is that this is also Aquarian energy, ruled by Mars. And Mars is about action. It can also be about conflict as well, and energy, strength, ambition, and judgment. So here we go. 9 of Wands and Judgment in reverse. And the 9 of Wands also with the 5 of Swords in reverse. So I think you're moving away from this conflict and tension that you may have experienced now, that could be internal conflict, especially dealing with this emotional loss. You have a lot of thoughts that are kind of conflicting, and so it's really tough to kind of move through that because you don't know, maybe you're questioning how you're thinking, why you're thinking, and it doesn't really align with how you might be as a person. So it's like you're thinking one thing and feeling another, and again, that 2 of Swords energy where we saw at the bottom of this deck, where it's like that push and pull of these different feelings and opposing feelings and thoughts. And that could be the internal conflict that we see here that is now being released. It's almost like you've decided, now if this is internal, you've decided that this is the surrender, because it's in reverse. This is the surrender to the fight that you will never win. And grief can be like that, where you have to accept it whether you like it or not, in a sense, because there's no changing that, especially when we are dealing with death. But when we are dealing with a separation from somebody in our life, then that can also cause internal conflict as well, because this is not how we imagined it. It's not our ideal situation. But again, you're coming to some kind of radical acceptance here, and a sense of not necessarily defeat, but a sense of knowing what battles to choose. And if that is an internal battle, then you're realizing that no matter how much I worry or how much I struggle internally with this, nothing's going to change it. And that can especially be true for the narcissistic behaviors and relationships we have in our life. You kind of have to understand that nothing will change that person, no matter what you say, how you say it, whether you're enough. And because in their eyes, you won't be. So it's like there's no point in fighting that fight because you can't win it. So it's like preserving your energy and being able to kind of capture the experience you have with that person so that you don't repeat that cycle in the future. And I do see a release of that mental conflict as well with the 9 of Swords, where this worry, this rumination, this anxiety is coming to an end because you have done some kind of surrender. And I feel like the burden was too much with this 9 of Wands energy. It just became too much of something that maybe it even wasn't even yours. You were carrying not only your own weight from something or someone or an experience, but you were carrying other people's stuff along with that. And that could be responsibilities, that could be tasks that they put onto you, or that could be people pushing your boundaries and not respecting your boundaries. Your view on things changed. Your sense of purpose was changed. Maybe your ideology was changed in this, which is why you kind of took a step back and assessed, what am I doing? Is this something I should be carrying or taking responsibility for? Is this work that I want to be doing? And yes, you might be up for putting in the work. You might be up for putting in the time and the effort to make something happen, to change something. But when you take a moment, you're realizing how much work has gotten you to this point, and Are you going in the right direction? Is it offering any kind of result in terms of the change you want to see or the results you want to see? And is it rewarding work? Is it purposeful work? So something's shifting in this, which is prompting this moving on, because I feel like you've experienced a lot of emotional disappointments and a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, a lot of loss. And you're kind of coming to that reality, to come to this moment in time where you're choosing differently. You're choosing to think differently. You're choosing to do differently. And this Judgment card in reverse, I feel like I don't think you're quite at this judgment, which is why it's in reverse. You're still processing what you need to do to move on, because I feel like your direction is changing. So that's why the Knight of Wands is in the reverse, is that you had that ambition and drive and passion to move beyond this, to go towards a specific point or go towards a specific goal. But all of a sudden you got stopped in your tracks because something within you shifted. And now it's time to reevaluate, reassess, to figure out, is this where you want to continue on? Is this where you want to go? But I do feel like you have come to some kind of stopping point. And this emotional loss and internal conflict is like this pivot point where you got to that point and changed directions. So now you're not really sure how to proceed. You know you have the ambition and the drive and the resilience and perseverance to overcome any kind of adversity. But is this the right kind of adversity that I'm willing to put my effort into? Is kind of the question that I'm getting here. Because I want to have more value in my life, especially when it comes to friendships, especially when it comes to people that I love and the connections, emotional connections I have. Now, if this is a death that you're grieving, then I feel like you're really coming out of this anxiety and worry and stress relating to grief. And now you're kind of taking the steps that you need to take to actually physically and mentally move on from that. And even emotionally. But again, it's not quite clear yet. The Judgment is still in reverse. And that is the Phoenix rising from the ashes. This is a second chance. The Judgment is ruled by Pluto. And Pluto is the great renewer. So significant shifts and change happen under the planet Pluto. It talks about mass movements and bringing truth to light. So it's like you're coming into this truth because of this emotional loss. And when you've finally moved on from the emotional loss, I feel like you are going to see the truth, and significant shifts are going to happen that I don't think you're expecting. So let's get some more cards. Your values are changing too, possibly. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. So I did mention at the beginning of the reading too, we talked about this will be the healthiest and most abundant time of your life. And I almost feel like this is confirmation of that. Because while it might be uncomfortable to move through and get beyond and emotionally process, I do feel like you are going through an intense and significant period of growth in your life. And I think it's in multiple areas of your life. We've got cups, we've got wands, we've got swords, and we've got some pentacles, but that, I feel like that's quite quiet. And maybe, so I don't feel like it has manifested in the 3D yet. It is maybe an idea, maybe a thought of the things that you want and you need in your life. But right now you're moving through the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual process of getting things in order so that you can reap the rewards of the growth that you're seeing, the seeds that you're planting, and even identifying what seeds you want to plant. Because I almost feel like you were maybe defined by a specific experience, or you were really shaken by this particular loss. So now you're left a little confused. And now it's the time to really sit down and assess that. Take your time to process the emotions. Take your time to assess the direction that you want to go. And even process the experience that you are moving through and how that's affecting you. Big, deep stuff here. And I'll just read a few lines from the guidebook. In a material sense, this card can represent financial security and comfort, which I feel is part of that second house energy. It shows that there will be more than enough to go around. If you are making business deals or setting intentions to create financial growth, this card indicates a considerable amount of monetary success. The lady can also usher in other forms of abundance, opportunities, marriage proposals, birth of a child. She will help you respect nature and connect with its forces in order to have a genuinely supported journey through life. And with this card and the luck card, you have Lady Luck on your side here. And this is a personification of the goddess of fortune. So I do feel that big energy of wealth and abundance here for you. So let's get one more from this deck. And hopefully I don't run out of battery life on my phone. Keeping a sharp eye on it. Autumn. Release the old and rest. So, I think that's part of your experience here. You are releasing some big stuff. And I think it's more than one thing. Like I said, it's not just one thing that you've experienced and you're moving through. A whole significant amount of stuff is changing. And I feel like you are releasing the old. And you are taking that time to figure out what's next. So, like I mentioned before, winter could be a month, but autumn could also be a month for you that could usher in some of that growth and some of those rewards that you're kind of planting seeds for now. Let's get more cards. Because I'm just feeling Spirit's just telling me to pull more cards from different decks. And let's get a little, I want to say wild, but I don't know if that's the right word. Oh, I will pull one from that other deck too. Okay, we've got, I think, 2 more decks and then we'll be done. But I hope some of these messages are landing. I feel like there might be a couple of different storylines in here, so I apologize if I'm jumping around and not really offering a straight line story. But this is what happens when I open the door for Spirit. I feel like there's a lot of spirits that come in to want to say something, share their story, share their messages. And so I do my best to try to keep it organized here. So here and now, yeah. This is about, not necessarily wishing it away, but being present, not living in the past because the past is gone and can no longer be fixed or changed, altered, adjusted. But also having plans for the future, but not living in the future. To not set your sights and be so fixated on specific outcomes, specific results, specific locations and people, and it has to happen this time. And this is about kind of that, continuing that surrendering journey of not giving up, but surrendering to the outcome, surrendering to the process and what needs to be done in this very moment. So if emotionally you are feeling like you need to cry, cry. If you need a self-care day, take a self-care day. If your body needs to move, move. So it's about being in this moment and really nurturing yourself essentially through this moment in time. And I do feel like autumn, winter are going to be significant seasons for you, where you might start to feel like yourself again and may start seeing glimmers of luck and hope and synchronicity and all that good stuff. Let's see, this will be the last card pull for this reading. Spirit, what else can the collective do to help them along their way. Oh my goodness. We'll get one more, just for fun. See, this is when I want to keep going, because Spirit's just on the ball. So it's like, I can't stop, because they want to say more things. When messages line up like this, it's like, I don't want to stop them in their tracks. So we'll get one more card. We'll see if one more pops out. If not, we'll just look at the bottom of the deck. So here we go. Plant new seeds, or plant the seeds. And I think that goes really well with that lady card, where we are planting the seeds to be able to enjoy the growth and reap the rewards down the line. So this might be a moment where you kind of consider the future and be present in what you are planting for that future, the choices that you're making, the activities that you indulge in at this time. I really feel like, again, coming back to those needs and that self-care is really going to help nurture the physical body and the emotional body, maybe even the spiritual body, and offer ease to that mental body, so that you can start discovering the seeds that you want to plant for the future. And it all happens now. It doesn't happen 6 months from now, although it can. But the seeds that we plant now can take some time to come to life, to grow, to flower. So it's all about the here and now, and what we're doing in the now to almost preserve the things that we want for our future. And then we have give in to passion. So that's a nice message to, I feel, help you through this as well, is to give in to the things that bring you joy and that really offer you a sense of hope and happiness, even if it's just, it could actually be music. Music might be really helpful for you. Listening to music, playing music, writing music, that could be quite transformative for you. Being in nature is something that you might feel really strongly to do. Gardening is something as well. Maybe even canning or pickling or something, where we're getting literal with planting seeds and the growing aspect and preserving those things. But I think you should be really proud of yourself. Coming back to the opening where we talked about capturing memories and experience and moments, especially when it's where we think it might be mundane, but I really think there are things that you will identify as beautiful, because, and also see your growth, which I feel why there's a need to capture something in this experience right now, is there is something in the present moment that you should be really proud of and really bring awareness to, because I think you're growing more than you think, and I think that you are really seeing signs or synchronicities, or seeing abundance in your life more than you think. So I think it's about capturing that and looking at that so that you can foster more of that in your life in the future. All the things that grow have to start somewhere, and that is with seeds, both actual and metaphorical. Whether it's the seed of an idea, a new beginning, or a garden of magical herbs, you have to plant it, then nurture it well to get the results you want. Caring for the seeds takes effort, but sometimes those big challenges is having the courage and forward momentum to plant them at all. And start small. This is the time to take those first steps now. Remember that we all draw energy from the well of our spirit, and if you don't occasionally do something to replenish that well, sooner or later you will come up empty. It may seem a little frivolous to spend time doing things you love just because you love them, but life can't be all about doing what is necessary and practical. So leave space for the passions of the heart and make time for the people and activities that bring you joy, and all of the other aspects of your life will benefit. So I almost am coming back to that capture and even that value with the second house of connecting in with those friendships, those heart-centered connections, and capturing new memories, having new moments and experiences, and releasing yourself from internal or external conflict that you have no influence over or cannot change. So, my dear collective, this is what I have for you. I hope you found some clarity and guidance today. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading.